Hi everyone, welcome to the Wednesday class. Yes, another month has rolled down. We had our second birthday party last week. That was great fun. Thank you so much for attending that. It was so much fun to look back at those videos for 2 years ago. At the beginning of the lockdown, when we started the Wednesday class, who would have thought that we would still be here 2 years later, helping you, supporting you, and having fun at the Shiatsu Centre at the same time. Okay, so another month has gone past, so that means that we're into another month of our epic 1 year journey around the Meridians, and I'm going to revise what we've done so far in the session today, and then we're going to start on the Spleen Meridian. That's an earth element meridian. It's on the leg. It's part of the circuit of the Meridians, and we'll be going deeper into that as we go through this month. So I thought this month, this week, I thought we could concentrate on obstruction and deficiency, because when we're doing exercises or when we're doing shiatsu or any type of energy work, one of the main differentiations we have in terms of pain or discomfort is whether that discomfort and pain is caused by an excess or an obstruction, a blockage, or whether it's caused by a weakness, kind of like a feeling of a lack of energy. Because what we do with that pain or that obstruction or that difficulty that we have will depend quite a lot on what that kind of thing is. So I thought I'd try and run a couple of polls today after we've done the scanning, and we'll just see whether you feel you're more obstructed or whether you feel you're weaker in terms of the places that you want to work on. Because then what we can do through the session is I'll just show you some different ways that you can modify the exercises depending on where you're at with it. Okay, does that sound good? All right, so let's go straight in. And of course, we've got point of the week coming up as well. So yeah, let's go straight in with the scans, and then I'll run a poll if I can find the poll, because we've got and let's see how many polls. We've now got 22 different polls that we've developed over the last 2 years. And sometimes it takes me a little while to find the poll that I want, but I will have a look in a moment. So you need to just get your piece of paper, if you've got it, and we'll do some whole body scanning. And as we do it, I'm just going to bring our attention to any areas of difficulty that we have, and just see if we can feel out whether they feel more blocked and more weak. Okay, so off we go for this week's class. Let's just start off by just bringing ourselves into this moment. We've got an hour together now, so just forget about everything else on the outside world, forget all about things in the past and the future, and let's just bring ourselves into this moment that we're going to share together. Okay, so we're going to just stand. We're not going to release or move anything at the moment. We're just going to feel how we are or experience how we are. We're going to do that by scanning down, doing a whole body scan. So let's do that together. We're going to start above the head, just in case there's any crown chakra activity. We're going to go down through the head, slowly scanning through the whole cranium here, down through the eyes, the ears, through the jaw, which is the first major joint that we get to, through the jaw, checking out the sinuses, the eyes, the sinuses, the mouth, jaw, and going down through into the throat area, and then the cervical spine. Just checking out what is it like, and then we go down through the shoulders, down through the arms into the fingers. And now we scan down through the torso, through the chest, front and back. Down through the diaphragm, through the abdominal area, down into the hips, down through the knees and the feet, and then down into the earth. So we're scanning all the way through. Let's just take a step back, as it were, and just look at the whole of our whole energy field as a whole. Okay, and I'm going to tune in. I'm going to draw my picture of my whole body scan. Okay, very good. All right, so now let's do the 3 burner scan, and when we've done that, then I'll find that pole, or I'll do a new one to find out whether you feel you're generally more obstructed and blocked, or whether you generally feel you're more weak, or a mixture of the two. Okay, so I'm going to draw my 3 lines there to make 3 areas, and we're going to scan into the different burners and see how we're doing this week. Okay, a little bit shaking out. Okay, so just take our time for a moment. We're going to tune into the lower burner here, all around the sacrum, below the navel, and into the right down into the pelvic floor. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to relax and tune into that area and ask ourselves, what is that like? And then we're going to go into the middle burner. Tuning into this middle burner, seeing what that's like. So it's below the diaphragm and above the navel. Just going to turn it into a picture and just see what it's like. And then we're going to go into the upper burner here, which is the chest area, includes the heart and the lungs. And we're going to ask ourselves, what is that like? Okay, you can ask yourself a question, do they all feel the same? Do they feel different? And then you can make a decision on which one you'd like to work on. Okay, so I'm going to draw my picture of my burners. Okay. Okay, so now bearing in mind your whole body scan, where you'd like to work, bearing in mind the 3 burners, let's just think for a moment, do you think you're more depleted, more deficient, more lacking in energy, or do you think the dominant thing that you've got here in your drawings is an obstruction, in other words, something that feels blocked and held, or do you think it's a mixture of the 2? Okay, so first of all, I think I'm going to run that poll if I can find it. Okay, I'm just trying to find this, otherwise I'll draw it. Okay, I'm going to do it on the fly, and I'm going to ask you, do you feel you are more, okay, weak, blocked, or a mixture? I'm going to put the poll up. The poll will be up in a second. Just going to type it up. A mixture. There we are. Okay, I'm going to share that with you now. Do you feel you're more weak, more blocked, or a mixture of the 2? Let's have a look. Okay, there we go. So we've got the majority of you feel that you are a mixture of the 2. Okay, so as we work around, you'll probably find that certain parts of you feel obstructed and some parts of you feel they're weak. So what we'll do is we'll do a whole body kind of thing with related to that, and then I'll focus in on how we can work individually into different parts of the body. Okay, so how about this? What we do first of all is we'll release any obstructions in the body. Now, if you're feeling generally weak, you want to take this nice and easy. If you're feeling mainly blocked, you want to focus in on those blocked areas. If you're a mixture, then what I'd like you to do is focus in first of all on any areas of your body that you feel tight or blocked or obstructed. And we're going to use a shaking technique to release those to start with. And then what we'll do is we'll use internal Qi Gong to strengthen up, and then we'll work into the burners, and I'll do the burner poll and we'll find out which burners you most need to work on. Does it sound like a good idea? Okay, so let's try that. So first of all, we're going to focus the shaking this week on the areas that we feel are most obstructed. So I know where they are in my body, but I'd like you to scan through your body and find any areas that you feel releasing. I'm going to start shaking with micro shakes, micro little movements, using the breathing to release that area. Okay, so here we go. So we're scanning in, we're finding where we need to release. And what I'd like you to do is breathe into those areas, or that area. Just pick one area to start with. Breathe into that area. And as we're breathing out, we're going to do little micro shakes, starting in that area, wherever it is, your hips, knees, feet, arms, shoulders, wherever. Okay, and we're just going to do micro shakes. Okay, and now what we do is, as we get more into it with the breathing, we're going to go deeper into that shaking, and we're going to slightly make it a bit stronger. Okay, wherever it is in your body, we're shaking that area, releasing it, and breathing into that area. Okay, now the next bit is really important. We're going to keep shaking that area. We're going to try and spread that obstruction out through the body, and we tend to make it go out through the hands and through the feet. So if you've got it anywhere in your torso, maybe your hips, diaphragm, or maybe your neck or shoulders, we keep shaking that area, and we imagine that that tension is releasing out, down through the hands, and possibly through the feet. Okay, now we're going to integrate it with the heaven and earth thing. Okay, so we're going to keep shaking, keep those arms and legs as loose as possible, and now get that head floating up from above, releasing the cranium, and then feeling the spine as if it's a whole string of beads going down into the sacrum. So it's really loose, releasing. Kind of wiggling about, shaking a bit. Down the arms and legs, and then slowly coming back into the center. Oh, that's better. Okay, so just check in now, and hopefully that's really starting to move any obstruction you had. Shaking is one of the best ways to move obstruction. We can do it with doing as well, with tapping, assuming we can get to the area, but shaking is probably the easiest way to get rid of obstruction. So now we have to start thinking about what happens if we've got any weakness, okay, or any deficiency. So I'm going to run the 3 burner poll now. So I'd like you to pick which burner you want to work on. And then what we'll do is we'll do something a little bit more sophisticated, which is developing more Qi in our body and directing it to different places where we feel weak. Okay, so let me just find the 3 burner poll. Which burner do you want to work on most today? We've had some surprising movements in the burner polls lately. It's been swinging between the upper burner and the lower burner. So let's see what's happening. Let's see what's happening today. Just like to vote, if you can, on which burner you'd like to work on most today. And then what we can do is we can start generating some Qi and generating energy or Qi and sending it into those areas where we feel weak. Okay, look, we're still getting an upper burner predominance here. And I think it's probably because of the world situation. It's still in that kind of early stage of shock stage. We had that with the pandemic. We had early upper burner, and then that moved into the lower and the middle burners later on. So worth bearing in mind as we do the exercises. Okay, so here we go. So now what we need to do now, it's relatively easy to move obstruction. You can just shake it, move it, tap it, and get obstruction to move. If we feel weak, that's a completely different thing, because what we need to do is we need to generate Qi in our body. And these type of exercises are one of the ways we can do it. We can do it through food. Breathing is another really important thing. What we can do is we can use these internal exercises to start charging our energy up. And hopefully also when we charge the energy up, it will also help release the tension, because it can have more energy underneath it. So let's start. Okay, now if you're a lower burner person and you're feeling more weak or kind of mixed, the main thing we want to do, and this applies to all of us, is we need to generate more Qi in the lower burner. So we're going to start off by rubbing our hands together. Shaking the legs out. So let's really take some time to really generate some really good energy in the lower burner. We're going to keep the shoulders really relaxed. We're going to float the head up, relax the hips. And we're going to just encourage nice, deep, easy breaths into the lower burner. So we're breathing in. Okay, and then breathing out. Okay. And we're going to rotate around CV6 and CV4. This is the gate of origin, the gate of Qi, which is probably the most important place to generate energy in the body. So we really want to stimulate that area here, just below the navel, nice and easy. We're keeping the arms very relaxed, and we're opening up the armpit here. Okay, very good. So now what we're going to do is keep those legs really relaxed, opening up the knees, opening up the feet as much as we can. Keep the breathing really nice and easy down into the lower part of the abdomen. Okay, very good. So now it's time to relax our hips and see if we can send this Qi right the way through from our hands, this warmth or energy from our hands, right through into the lower back. So we're actually sending it through into this part here. Okay. Very good. Okay, now if you can reach behind you and do this, this is another good way of stimulating the lower burner. Just in the waist here. If your shoulders are tight and you can't do it, then just keep working here. Otherwise, we can do this. We're going to relax the hips. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to use the 3 burners to generate Qi in the body, and then in the last part of the session we'll direct that Qi into any areas where you feel that you need more energy. Okay, so that's the idea. We've shaken out the excess, and now we're going to generate the Qi inside the body using the 3 burners, and then what we'll do is we'll direct that into any areas. Maybe you've got pain or maybe you've got discomfort, and we can direct the Qi into that. Okay, so shaking out. Okay, tuning in, taking some nice easy breaths. Okay, so to generate Qi in the body, we really need to get energy from the earth, and the best way to do that is through kidney 1. So we better get on with that straight away. Our favourite point in the Wednesday class. No Wednesday class would be the same without kidney 1, let's face it. Okay, so this time let's also make a particular focus on kidney 3, which is behind the ankle. This point is one of the most important points for generating Qi in the body because it tonifies the kidney energy. So we really want to try and get that activated. We can activate it at the same time as working kidney 1 by placing our thumb here, gently pressing in, stretching the leg this way so it opens up the kidney channel, okay? And then tapping and working kidney 1. Okay, just to remind you, it's down the midline of the foot and it's 1/3 of the distance down. So we can press in here like this. My favourite is tapping. There we are. Brilliant. Tapping. Brilliant. Okay, excellent. Don't forget that kidney 3. In fact, I'm going to do this for a moment. I'm just going to rub around kidney 3 and the back of the ankle as well. It's bladder 60. They're 2 really important points. Just going to give them a bit of a rub. And kind of activate the lower burner there. Very good. Oops, where's my sock? Here it is. Okay, great. Now we'll do the other foot. Tapping and squeezing, holding on to kidney 3. So give kidney 1 a nice tap. Holding on to kidney 3 here with my thumb, stretching out the kidney channel. Okay. Very good. Put this sock back on. Get a rub around kidney 3 and bladder 60. It's good for warming the feet up as well. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, let's see how we're doing. There we are. Excellent. So we're placing our hands on the dantian again, opening up kidney 1. What a great feeling that is. Feeling down, connecting with the earth. Brings lots of yin energy into the body, which kind of calms down the mind. It's again good for obstruction and for too much heat and too much energy in the head. So there we go. We've got the lower burner. So now let's just give this connection between kidney 1 and the dantian a bit of a help by working the kidney channel. So we're going to just tap behind the kidney from kidney 3. We're just going to gently tap up the inside back of the legs up into the lower burner. That's it. And then we can go round. We can tap down the backs of the legs. And then round again, up. And then down. And then round. And then up. Okay, and down. Okay, good. Shaking out. Feeling that connection with the lower dantian. Okay, excellent. So now we go up to the middle burner, and we've got this area here, right underneath the diaphragm. It's really important. This is the whole digestive area, and this has to be in good shape for us to extract the energy from the food. So we want to keep this area nice and relaxed. One of the things we don't want is we don't want it to be tense or hot. So what we'll do is we'll work this spleen exercise. This is Another Qi Gong exercise. We're going to place our hand over the navel and we're going to just rub again. This time we're going more into the middle burner, keeping the shoulders relaxed. Keep that kidney one open. Keep the head floating up. That's it. And then keeping that nice and relaxed. And then we go round in a big circle. Very good. And then back into the middle. Okay, this is the middle burner here. So let's just go back into shaking out a little bit. Let's get that diaphragm released. And let's do this nice twisting exercise as well, just to release the middle burner. We're focusing into this area here. Now, if you're feeling weak in that area though, what we need to do is breathe into it and keep the shape, keep the twisting very slow and relaxed, and keep the breath coming into that area. If it's more obstructed, you want to get more twist on it, let's go round and tap like this. Okay, excellent. Excellent. Okay, and then back to the center. And a little bit shaking out and shaking. Okay, now we can also work on the channels for the middle burner, and this is where our journey around the meridians comes into its own. So I think what we're going to do now is we're going to link the upper burner to the middle burner through the meridian cycle. Are you with me? So if you remember back in January, we did lung, then we did large intestine in February. March, we did stomach all the way down to the feet, and dun, 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 dun. Now it's April, we're going to be working on the spleen meridian, which runs up here. And you can see, this is kind of exciting because this is the first time that we've seen the pattern emerging of the meridians. We've basically got arms and then legs. And the meridians go yin, yang, up onto the head, and then yang down the body, and then yin up again, back up to the chest. You see, so the yang channels all connect with the head. Okay, I'm just going to reinforce that by doing a do-in sequence now that takes us through from the beginning of the meridian circuit down to the spleen channel, and that will link up the upper and the middle burners. Okay, so are you ready? So here we go. We start off on lung 1 and we go down lung 1, down to the thumb, and then we come back up the large intestine, and that goes up into large intestine 20, which is this one right by the nose here. Just give you a close up. Oh, it's this one here. Okay. And that then turns into the stomach channel, which we can follow all the way down the body, down into the feet. And okay, so let's just do this first. So this is lung, January, large intestine, February, or okay, back up to here. Okay, we've got on the other side, lung, large intestine, up to here. Lung, large intestine. Okay, so now what we can do is we can connect the stomach and the spleen channels with the head to the feet, and then the feet up to the chest. So here we go. We're going to just tap around the sinuses, just tapping or squeezing the front of the neck, down the chest, and then here we are back into the middle burner again, down the stomach channel, and up the spleen channel, which comes up here, and then up the side of the body and ends here on the chest. Okay, so the yin channels start and end on the chest, and the yang channels start and end on the head. And we will see that pattern repeated right the way through the entire year. And that's one of the most beautiful and elegant things about the Meridian system. So let's just reinforce that by doing a bit more work on the stomach meridian, down. Okay, this is where we get back down to the middle burner, stomach channel, and the spleen. Spleen actually goes up here and goes just underneath here onto the chest. So then we go back to stomach again. Remember, it goes through here, through the sinuses, through the jaw, down the front of the neck, the front of the chest, down into the middle burner, and then down. Now you can see that's, you get a feel now. If we just go back to the end of that little sequence, shake out a bit. Take a nice breath in. Can you feel that nice integration we're getting now with the upper burner and the middle burner there? And that's because we've gone through this circuit of the channels. Okay, so now it must be time for point of the week. And we've got a lovely point which I'd like to share with you. It's spleen 3. It's a great point for strengthening the back. And here it is. Okay, it's called Supreme White because it's connected to the Venus, the planet Venus in Chinese astrology. And what it does is it strengthens and regulates the spleen. So it's good for heaviness in all the 3 heaters, gastric pain, and it's also the earthing point related to back pain. So let's just have a find of that, and I'll just show you. We'll go back to working on the feet again, just show you how you can find that and work it. And then what we'll do is we'll stand up again and we'll see whether it's made a difference to how we feel in terms of heaviness in our body, but also how we feel in terms of standing and earthing. Okay, so we've got our nice favorite kidney 1 point there, and spleen 3 is right here on the foot. Okay, I'll just put the picture up again so you can see. You can see where it is, right by that bone there, right in that curve of that bone. So if you get hold of your foot, you can feel the big toe. You've got a couple of bones in the big toe, and then there's a kind of knobbly round bit. And just in that indentation there, where that red dot is where spleen 3 is. Okay, so here we go. It's right in this point here. And what we're going to do is we're just going to work it just by pressing in. And let's just also work up the spleen channel a bit, because it's something we don't often do on the foot, do we? We work it from here with the dough-in, but actually the channel runs up through here and goes up into the spleen channel like this. So we can work it along this part of the foot here, just pressing in like this, all around this area, starting off with spleen 3, okay? Okay, now while we're doing this, we'll just kind of relax. Open up the feeling sensation in the leg and see if you can feel any sensations up the leg as you hold and press this point. You may get sensations up the channel and into the lower and the middle burners there. Okay, so that's spleen 3. It's one of the most powerful points that we use for treating spleen-related back issues. And that's when you've got earthing problems, maybe weakness in the spine, that kind of thing. We use it a lot in Shiatsu technique. So here we are, spleen 3. Great brightness, it's called. So I'm working along here, and that's exactly where it is there. If I give you a close up, there we are. It's right in this indentation there. That's it. So I'm working it there and also working up the spleen channel, up the inside here of the foot. Very good. Okay, and that is spleen 3, point of the week. And what does it do? I've got my favorite book here, Images and Functions. And according to this, it regulates and strengthens the spleen, especially the Qi and the Yang. So that's good. It kind of warms up the spleen, gets the spleen working. Regulates the stomach, the Qi and the Yin, and it also affects the large intestine, the middle and the lower burners. Isn't that interesting? The middle and the lower burners. It clears heat, reduces digestive stagnation in case you've got any blockages there. and transforms dampness and damp heat. So it's a very useful point for digestion and also for strengthening up the body. So let's just check out and see, even just with that few minutes of work on spleen 3, and if we visualize that point, let's see if we can get a sensation of what the action is of the point. So let's just see. We're going to stand. What I'd like you to do is focus in on spleen 3 and focus in on the spleen meridian, which runs up the inside front of the body. And then we're just going to place our hands right in the middle of the abdomen. Okay. And what you may be able to feel is like a tingling, a connection, a resonance, or a warmth between the feet and the middle burner. And that's the action of spleen 3, that nice, calming, tonifying feeling. And in the spirit of today's exercises, that's really good because that's going to strengthen the stomach and the spleen chi. Okay, excellent. So that just leaves us with the upper burner, which is very important for developing energy because we need that breath to come in. So let's just open up the lungs, stretching up, breathing out, stretching back, stretching the thumbs back, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, and breathing out, breathing in, and breathing out. Okay, now we already worked the lung and the large intestine channels as part of our looping thing for the meridian, so we can go straight on now and work on the heart and the pericardium channels. Okay, we need to get those working well because we want the circulation to be working well. So here we go. We're going to bring our hands in like this, breathe in, breathe out, and slowly move your hands out. Stretch, open the chest area and relax. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Okay, we're shaking out, rolling the shoulders. Let's do some nice dough-in to open up the chest. Now, if you're an upper burner person and you're feeling a bit weak, you want to take it really light and easy with this dough-in and keep the breath coming into the upper heater. If you've got obstructions in the upper heater, you're feeling kind of tight, blocked maybe, then you want to go a little bit more vigorous and kind of start shaking some of that stagnation out. Okay, so I'd leave it up to you to adapt it depending on what you think you need. I'm going to just use a kind of medium tap here, going down the heart protector area. Okay, and then up the triple heater. Onto the shoulder, and round. Just going to do that 3 times. That's it, and then brushing off. Okay, the same thing, we're just going to move this energy here or tonify the energy depending on what you need. Okay, if you're feeling a little bit weak here, keep it nice and light, keep that breathing going into this area here. And back around. Okay, and down. And back. Good. Okay, just 3 times round. Keeping this area nice and open as we do the dough-in and then brushing off. Okay, excellent. So now we're going to work the heart channel. Now this is one that we don't really want to sedate too much. We want to kind of tonify that, keep it nice and calm. It helps us with the calmness in the upper heater. Okay, and I'll show you some really useful points. We do some little bit more internal work with that. But first of all, let's get in touch with the channel by bringing our hands up like this into the prayer position and stretching them behind our back. If you can do this, opening up the armpit, keeping those feet firmly on the floor, breathing in, breathing out, and just bringing the hands back. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Okay, excellent. And shaking out. Okay, so let's just do some really light tapping down the heart channel, which runs from the armpit and it goes down into the little finger here. And get that nice and easy. Just tapping nice and easily, and then up the small intestine channel, which runs up the back of the arm. And round. And round. Okay, and then brushing off. Same thing on the other side, nice and easy. Nice and easy. Keep breathing into the upper heater around here. Okay. Into the hand and then back around. That's it. Three times round and then brushing off. Okay, releasing the upper heater. Okay, very good. So now what we'll do now is we'll just spend a few minutes just clearing the yang channels on the head. And then what I'd like to do is I'd like to use some of the qi, integrate the three heaters and use some of the qi that we have built up to basically treat ourselves for any areas of deficiency in the body. I'll show you how to do that. It's something we do with our clients a lot, especially if they're suffering from like long-term fatigue issues or weaknesses. Internal Qi Gong is probably the best way to strengthen yourself up. But be careful about releasing and hitting yourself too hard and shaking too much if you're basically weak, because you want to gather the qi there. Okay, and I'll show you how to do that after we've cleared the energy from the head. So let's, first of all, we're really standing up today because I'd like to try and get some integration here between the yang channels on the head and the rest of the body. So let's see if we can keep in mind or keep in our awareness the extensions of the channels down the limbs. So for example, now we're going to tap the bladder channel on the top of the head, and we're going to go over the top of the head here. And while we do this, we're going to float the head up. Okay. Float the head up and tap around. Okay. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to go down onto the neck, and we're going to go straight down onto the bladder channel as far as we can go down. We're going to link the head with the bladder channel all the way down the body, down into the feet. Okay, so you see what we're doing? We're integrating more the head and neck work with the rest of the body. So let's do that again. We're just going to tap over the bladder channel here into the back of the neck. Okay, and then we get down. Down into the feet. Okay, and then we're going to do it one more time, tapping along the top of the head, down to the back of the neck. And then as far as we can get down, and then pick it up here. Brushing off. Okay, so that's basically the back of the head, the front kind of this movement. And now we have the sides of the head, and the sides of the head connect with the triple heater channel on the arms and the gallbladder channel down the legs. So what I think we'll do now is we'll just squeeze around the sides of the head. Let's just wipe the eyes. The liver and the gallbladder channel are closely connected to the eyes. I'm going to go down, round. And now I'm squeezing with my heels of my hand right into the gallbladder channel on the neck here. Okay, and we're going to pick that up on the shoulders. This is where the gallbladder channel runs onto the shoulders. And then runs down the sides of the body, all the way down the sides, through into the hips, and then down into the feet. Okay, so sides of the head. You can actually tap if you want to, or you can press and squeeze. And then pressing into gallbladder, tapping gallbladder 21. And go down into the hips, down the outside of the legs, and then brushing off. Okay, cool. One more time. You notice how it's tending to really help connect the head channels with the rest of the body. Just do one more, and down, squeezing around, gallbladder in the neck. Okay, and then down we go. And then brushing off. Okay, so that's the side. We could have gone down the triple heater channel, maybe we'll do that next week. Okay, it's the same kind of idea, the sides of the head and down. So that only leaves us with the front of the head, down the front of the body. We've already done that with the stomach channel, when the stomach and spleen link up. So let's just do that one more time. We need to, again, just wipe the eyes, squeezing around the... I'm going to give you a bit of a close-up what I'm doing here. So I'm just squeezing around the sinuses here, into the jaw. Okay, and then around the jaw. And then down the front of the neck. And this is where the stomach meridian runs. We can pick it up here along the chest, down the abdominal muscles, around the middle burner, and then down the stomach channel. Okay, and then down. Very good for clearing out the sinuses. And then we go down, and then we do one more time, just clearing out. Okay, so you can see how the yang channels of the head all connect down into the limbs, and it's kind of really important because it's used a lot in Shiatsu and acupuncture to treat problems in the head. We use a lot of distal points. That's points that are a long way away. Technical name for a long way away. Distal points on the hands and on the feet to treat things like headaches, jaw pain, ear aches, and things like that, eye problems. We use a lot of points on the hands, and you can kind of get the idea why when we start doing these exercises. Okay, excellent. So now I've left a little bit of time now, 10 minutes at the end, because I thought what we can do now is we can generate the Qi, and we can start doing some self-healing. We're going to start generating internal Qi and sending that to any area of weakness or deficiency in the body. Okay, so if you remember your whole body scan, we're going to rescan again just to check that you still need it, and then we'll do some internal Qi Gong healing work. So we're going to keep the feet shoulder width apart. Just remember that spleen 3 point. Just roll our feet this way, and that activates that point. If you just do that and rolling my knees in together, just activating that spleen 3, then bringing the knees back and opening up kidney 1. Good, yeah. And I'm going to relax the hips. Very good. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to gather the qi in the dantian initially, and then we're going to send it out with the breath to anywhere that we feel we need energy in the body. Okay, so you might feel weak in the hips, you might put it in the neck, shoulders, maybe in the upper burner, middle burner, might even be in the lower burner. You want to keep it there. You may want to put it down into the knees. Maybe feel your legs are weak. You might want to send it down through into the legs. It's entirely up to you where you send it. So let's do it all together. Let's first of all gather the qi in the lower burner, and then we'll send it to where we need it internally. Okay, so here we go. It's all to do with breathing, so we're going to keep those shoulders really relaxed. Just going to tune into our whole body again. And we're going to breathe in. As you breathe in, don't take in too much air. Bring in light from the breath. Imagine it coming into the lower dantian. Collect it here like a ball of light. Hold our breath. And then as we breathe out, we're going to send that qi that we've collected here wherever it is that you need it, okay? So here we go, breathing out slowly. Imagine the qi going to where you need it and gathering there. Brilliant, okay, so let's do that several times and you'll get more into it as we do it. So we're going to breathe in. Bring that qi into the lower burner. I'm going to hold it there. Imagine it like a ball of golden light or a ball of energy. Okay, and then we're going to send that energy to somewhere else in the body, wherever it is you need it. It could be your knees, it could be your neck, or whatever. Okay, so breathing out. Send that qi there. Breathing in. Gathering it there. Keep it really relaxed. Keep the breathing not too deep. Keep lots of qi, not too much breath. And breathe out slowly. Send the qi where you need it. Okay. So we bring a lot of imaginary qi in with the breath. Gather it there, hold it there for a second, send it to where you need it. Close your eyes and send that qi like a golden light down into wherever it is, the knees, the neck, back, wherever. Okay, breathing in. Breathing out. Sending the qi there. Okay, let's keep going nice and easy, no straining, just simply breathing in, gathering the qi there in the low dantian, focusing somewhere in your body, and we're going to breathe out, send that energy to that part of the body. Okay, a few more, let's breathe in again. You can always pick somewhere else if you feel you need more energy somewhere else, and we're going to send that energy out. Very good. Okay, let's just do two more. Keep it nice and relaxed. Keep that head floating up. Keep that kidney one open. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Okay. Let's just do one more, nice and slowly. Breathing in. And breathing out. Okay, so there we have it. That's a very simple but very powerful way to deal with any pain or discomfort that we have that we think might be a weakness or a deficiency. Now, if you've got a mixed pattern, you might have tension here that's also weak. You'll find you can tap it, you can release it, and you get a certain amount of relief, but there's a kind of like a dull, maybe an ache or something underneath that. Then it's a good chance that what you've got is a deficiency underneath the excess or the obstruction. And that often happens where you get superficial obstruction and then a deeper deficiency. So you can basically adapt these techniques depending on how you're feeling internally. And don't forget, we've also added the sophistication in this last hour, because what we've done is not just simply started off with that, but we've actually integrated and harmonized all the energy centers of the body that are used to generate Qi in the first place. So by doing that hour warm up and by connecting all the 3 burners, clearing the channels, opening up kidney 1 and spleen 3, what we did was we gave ourselves the ability to access that Qi and use it to do self-healing. Okay, so I really hope you enjoy that. I think it's something that we really need to think about as we move on with the Wednesday classes, is to become more sophisticated in how we use internal work to tonify and to strengthen ourselves, as well as releasing any tension and stuff like that. Okay, and look at it, the time has gone pretty much. We've just got 4 minutes left, and I just want to spend 2 minutes of those integrating heaven and earth with the Tai Chi breathing. So feet shoulder width apart, and we'll just do 5 of these breaths, okay, and we do them and we use them to connect heaven and earth. So floating the head up, sacrum hanging down, and we're going to sink down into the earth, breathing in, and we're going to push up from the earth, breathing out and exhaling. We're going to breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Nice and slowly. Okay, again, breathing in, connecting with the heaven and earth, and pushing up, floating the head up. Okay, let's just do one more, keeping that head floating up, sinking down, and breathe out. Okay, excellent. So just scanning through our body again, just checking out all the changes we've got. Should feel a lot more grounded now, a nice integration internally. We've supplied energy to areas that you feel deficient, and we've released areas that feel blocked or excess. So that's a really lovely session. Thank you very much for joining us. And I guess hopefully we'll see you next week. I'm just going to check in with the chat and see how busy that's been. Whoa, that is really busy. Okay, I'm going to put a heart in the chat and say thank you. Thank you very much, Dinah, for thank you for looking after the chat for me. And I'm just going to put a heart in the chat to everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I really do appreciate it. You can see, I think you can see how much I love doing these Wednesday classes. It helps me revise my points, and also it's great to do loads of internal work, and it's just lovely to have such a lovely community as well. So anyway, that's it. 2 years old last week, and we've got another rest of the year together, and we'll go around the entire meridian cycle. I can't believe it. We've already done lung, large intestine, stomach, and now we're on to spleen. So in the next week, we'll be going up the spleen meridian. It looks like everyone really enjoyed that tonification exercise. I think that's we're going to maybe just change the emphasis a little bit more in the next few weeks, just so we can strengthen and tonify up our energy. Okay, so until next week, have a great week. And always, if you get stuck in the middle of the week, don't forget you can always use the replay. Yeah, thanks for the happy birthdays. Yeah, and don't forget you can always use the replay and go over the whole session again, no problem. I know we get a lot of people watching the replays. Okay, so thank you again, Dinah, and until next week, have a great week.